Hey everybody, welcome to the Irish Wrestling Podcast. This is your OTT Gaff Party review show. We are also reviewing the Mad Kurt Forever show in the Bread Shed that Rob had attended. Rob is his first time on the show with us. Rob, how are things? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's good to be here.
If any,
Finally, Colin's
if it,
been asked me about
yeah,
a year,
Trying to
but
get him on
sure,
for ages.
if
here I am.
anybody doesn't know who Rob is, you've never been to an Irish wrestling show. Rob is an Irish wrestling superstar, super fan, member of the elite, taking more bumps than half the OTT roster. He's an OG Irish wrestling fan, and if you've ever seen him at a wrestling show, you know you're at a wrestling show in
Everyone knows
Ireland.
who Rob is. Rob's gonna get a rating skyrocketing now after this one.
No, I think your ratings are gonna go down. Actually, I'm gonna get your podcast cancelled.
Hoping Rob's gonna
Rob's
have to
Rob's a
we
member
can
of
edit everything. So
Rob's a member of Mustache Martin. He's a member of the Rascals. He's probably a member of every faction that's ever
I,
been in OTT.
no, I think Trent kicked me out of Mustache Mountain this weekend.
Especially you. Was that what he did? Wasn't
Yeah, yeah.
just keep
He's
doing
always
sockets to
picking
everybody. Like
it? Everybody except the Trent 7 army that was in attendance. Seemed to be a
on me.
lot
There's
of
about
them.
10 people out the back. At the back.
yeah, there wasn't that many now. In fairness, there wasn't a
They
hell
were
of
a
a
lot.
lot.
They were loud.
They were.
Yeah, they were in good voice. I think they were after having a few jars as well. So
Yeah.
that probably helped their voices carry a
I
bit
can,
more.
I can only imagine if they were able to bring the drink into the venue, that how much the atmosphere would have been.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about that before we get into the show itself, because Joe had a tweet up about saying it's, he had a couple of tweets up, regarding Eventbrite and the one
Mhm.
about the mad cow, the red cow.
Yeah.
What was it like there for people in attendance? Like, did you enjoy the show besides the cold?
Well, the doors didn't open till like what 10 minutes before
Like 10,
showtime.
10 to
Really?
7, yeah.
Wow.
Advertised showtime,
Yeah.
but like I think obviously knowing what happened when we went in there, I think that was what the reason probably was, that they just had a hold up, and then we found out that there was the license issue. So we literally couldn't bring drink from the bar into the venue, and then you had to do like a maze to get to the bar. Like
Yeah.
there's literally like have you been to the Red Cow?
Yeah, I was there for
Remember that you
WrestleRama. Yeah,
just go
The Osprey
straight
show, yeah.
from the bar to the
yeah,
the venue,
yeah. Through the
but
nightclub part. Yeah,
because the license, I think you had to make a big massive detour outside the smoking area around the corner. It was ridiculous, but apart from that, like, it's a great venue for events like that.
yeah.
Like the production, the stage production, and the balcony
Yeah.
upstairs is fantastic. But the logistics of it is just, I'm sure, is a nightmare. Especially with it being a nightclub,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
straight after, like you have to rush out.
I know. I remember leaving WrestleRama and we were standing inside the nightclub and it had started and we were like,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This
get
yeah,
this one
out.
was this one wasn't as late now. There was a
Yeah.
queue outside the door for the nightclub, but I think they finished a lot earlier than they did the last time. And then obviously they didn't have the 20-minute Osprey promo either in there,
yeah.
So
Yeah.
And
that
like
kind of helped things
like they didn't, when we were out where the merch was, where the actual nightclub is. They didn't actually kick us out. Like I don't. The first time they kicked us out, but the second time the bouncers were just looking at us, watching
Right.
everyone
Yeah.
sell their merch and all that.
There
But
was so much more time in hand, I think, as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
especially even though it started a lot later than the other one.
I think it
It was
started at the same time. I think they were
yeah,
about half
oh yeah,
seven, I
it just
think.
felt
Yeah.
it just felt later because we were
Yeah.
outside for ages.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
But
it is good value though.
yeah, like I reached out to Joe after I heard what happened, and I spoke to him at the weekend as well, and um had a good chat. He did ask me like what I thought about it, and like for me, like I don't drink at shows, and anyway, like I usually drive the show, so the drink kind of wasn't an effect for me.
Yeah.
It was pretty cold. Obviously, the doors were kept open, so I'll just go back to was it August? Last August was the first time we were there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Joe had booked that venue, and the venue was basically like a big square. It was a big open box, basically. Perfect for wrestling, high ceiling, all that kind of stuff. Venue was booked, and venue organizer told Joe then that they were putting in a balcony, but it was only made it sound that it was going to be pretty small. Obviously we saw what it was, which kind of takes a bit away then from what they're able to do from a wrestling environment, because although some people might like being up on the balcony and looking down,
Yeah.
it does change where the ring has to go, and because it needs to go so close to that screen stage, there was only 2 rows of chairs there. I'm sure they'd like to have it much further out, have all four sides kind of covered with fans, like, and then also there's struts that had to go in to support that balcony as well,
Mhm.
which causes their own
Takes away
issues, you
more.
know.
Yeah.
So that was an issue going back from the August show, which he said, listen, we can overcome that. It's grand. It is a bit shit because like the space was huge, but like
Yeah.
it's something that they could overcome. But go up to the next show, and Joe only found out on Friday night that there was no alcohol in the venue. So that's really, really bad. You know, like you don't
Fucking
like,
shocking.
yeah, so like supposedly that license was gone. Now again, we all heard rumors, and that's all it is. We heard rumors
Mm.
through people and whatever. Like I think myself and Rob heard on the night through a couple of people that we knew that might have known someone that runs the venue or something like
Mm.
that. The license is actually gone about 3 months.
Jesus.
And I think the hope was that they were going to get it back before the
Next show.
show,
Yeah.
but they didn't. But like, still, I think if you have someone booked in there and they're under the illusion that there's going to be a bar and that there's going to be stuff there. So Joe actually did try a lot of stuff and made a few suggestions. He did actually try push them for a BYOB. But again, like you're less than 24 hours out from the show, and he just couldn't get that one over the line. So obviously the way that the structure is that you have the nightclub and then you have the venue, and they're two separate, presumably under two separate licenses as well.
Yeah.
So that the nightclub still has the license that they could sell alcohol. So you could get the alcohol, but it had to be drank out there. So you're not allowed to take them from one premises to the other, which again is shit. So people were after going out before the show, buying a couple of points, or standing out there trying and then try to go back in for the start, and was
Yeah.
told you can't bring your drinks in. So no one was really aware. It was a bit of a mess, a bit of a rush. The rumors that were going around, and again, that's all they are, they're rumors, so they might be unfounded, but the rumors were that that place hosts raves. We know that. And the rumor was that there was potentially some coppers caught underage drinking or something like that, and there might have been a query thrown in about the license, and maybe the license was pulled from them. So
Yeah.
we're not sure if that's true or not. That's just something that we heard, but it would kind of stack up then as well, you know. So, but like Joe did make it very clear that they're not going back again. I think it's one of them, like they really fucked them over this time. Like not letting them know less than 24 hours before the event.
Like
It would like,
if it's if they knew for 3 months,
yeah,
like they should at
That's
least told them, like when it happened, that this might be the case, so
yeah,
they could plan ahead, and it's just
yeah.
ridiculous. Like
completely
It is like it's.
unprofessional.
I know. We say in the wrestling world that we have some carny promoters and stuff, but that's proper carny stuff right there. Like not
uh,
letting someone know about an alcohol situation, and again, like it's a Saturday night, and I think this is a quote from Joe. How the fuck are you meant to have a gaff party without any drink? He's like even the name of the event
Yeah.
alludes to that it's going to be a party. There's going to be alcohol, you know. So, yeah, I think just that just kind of killed everything, you know. So
I think
it was,
like walking into the venue when that was happening, it felt really different. Like it felt like there was no atmosphere whatsoever, especially
yeah,
walking in, and there was no music on for the first 20 minutes or so.
yeah,
So it just felt like just really different. Didn't feel like an OTT, and then eventually when the show started, like the atmosphere and everyone got in, the atmosphere just picked up, and
yeah,
it felt like OTT then. And
Yeah.
that's, like as I said, that's the thing about that venue. It holds the atmosphere really well
Does.
because
yeah,
it's really
Yeah.
compact, and that part will suck because it's hard to find a venue like that. But
yeah,
you can't. There's no point going back if you can't like run a
Yeah.
show properly. Like
It sucks like because there's already a limited amount of venues that you can do
exactly.
stuff in Ireland, and have something like that that's perfect for wrestling,
Yeah.
and that fuck everything over and just like you have to start from
I
scratch.
think they obviously didn't want to tell Joe because they didn't want
Yeah,
to lose the book and they
of
didn't want to
course.
yeah,
lose the money.
yeah.
So
But it's unprofessional for them not to
Oh
tell
no,
him. Like,
100%.
he could have arranged like 3 months in advance to have it,
Yeah,
change it to a
exactly.
bring your own booze, like or
But then
something.
as well, like it puts Joe in a very hard position because then if he had known in advance, he could have let people know in advance. Listen,
Yeah,
this show is going ahead in this venue, but there's no
uh,
drinking in the venue, but you can drink in the club area, you know. And
uh,
if people knew going in, they might have understood it
yeah,
a bit better. I think the fact that people didn't know and there wasn't enough time to let people know as well, and Joe was trying everything right up until showtime to try get something in place. But then nothing could be done. So like I think it was more surprised by people that
yeah.
they were pissed off then
Oh, of
when
course.
it became the fact that they couldn't do this thing. It's like why the fuck weren't we told this, you
I
know?
think
So
for one person though in particular, I think it was a good thing because there was a stag party dressed in 90s wrestlers,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I seen that in the
and
background.
one of
I was
them,
gonna.
I don't know if they're gonna listen to this, but the one that was dressed up as China, he had a one too few too many, and
Before we even got in.
yeah, by the time they got it, like they were hammered, but like
Yeah.
they did behave, but like I'm not gonna,
They
they
were a
didn't
bit
do
of
anything
crack,
stupid.
yeah.
They were,
No, I get
they
where
were
you're coming from, but the alcohol could have pushed them way over the edge,
exactly,
like then, yeah, yeah,
Dressed as China.
yeah.
I was
yeah.
wondering what he was dressed as. I could see in the background. It's like, what's going on there?
There
I
Oh
was
was
yeah,
like,
it was all DX.
yeah,
he took
yeah.
the wig off though
And
eventually,
then there was a Cena and a Stone Cold there as
and
well, but they had the whole of
there was
DX.
a real buff Rey
Rey
Mysterio.
Mysterio, yeah.
That fella that he fell asleep though.
Yeah, yeah.
He fell asleep. So yeah, but they were
Fucking
both crack.
hell.
Like they I thought they were gonna do something stupid, but they didn't actually
You're
think that.
always a bit wary when there's a few drunken, kind of loud
Especially
people,
a
you know,
stag.
but like, yeah,
They're not
but
regulars or
they
whether.
were, they could
I
have been, I genuinely
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I've never seen them before in my life. Because they you kind of knew. You know a regular by how they react to certain
Mm,
people. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they were just reacting to things that they've never seen, like just like
yeah, yeah.
random things. So I don't think they were regular. I think they just came over by chance, and then they just happened to do like a wrestling show. So it
Well, they
is.
picked a good show to come to.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
starting off the show with Robbie X and Le Slater,
Oh, gee, like
and the second it was the second time they had a money match,
money. Yeah, yeah.
half
Yeah,
the
they've done it.
crowd.
They've done it. Excuse me. They've done it like I think that was their third or fourth
Third
Was
money
time.
it?
match
Yeah, yeah.
now. Yeah. Yeah. They split the crowd. To be fair, I think you might have wasted a bullet on this one. To be quite honest, I don't think you needed to have a
Yeah,
money
yeah.
match for this one. Like the match spoke for itself. Like it really did. That was money matches as
Yeah.
well. Like I think that the idea behind them was to heat the crowd up and to get
Hmm.
them kind of in
Behind
booths
somebody.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I really don't think they needed it for this
Not
match.
these two
Like
lads.
they
Definitely not.
fucking destroyed it. Like they were unbelievable. Like and
Yeah.
I'm looking at it here, 12 minutes. Like it felt like 30. You know, it really did.
Fuck.
They went everywhere and like what a match. Like if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But it was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like and like you kind of knew it going in. You were like, this is one of the ones that I'm really, really looking forward to. But like, yeah, the two lads just proved like how absolutely brilliant they both are.
I still can't believe that he's only 19, Leon
Yeah,
Slater.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
it's
fucking
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Like I seen him 3 times in the last 5 days, and he's just like the best. Like I'm obviously time with him is limited now because he's going to be going
Yeah.
to Impact
Yeah.
soon and take as much as we can with him. But he deserves it, absolutely deserves it. And he's going to kill it over there. But it's just ridiculous. Like it puts us all to shame how young he is, and
Yeah.
he can do like I could barely do a tumble, and he can do fucking 5 flips in about 10 seconds. Well, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I can curse on camera. It's a bit
You
late now,
could
but sure.
say whatever you want, Rob.
Stay
Say
away.
whatever you
Fucking
want.
say the fuck whatever you want.
Bit fucking late, yeah. And we forgot to mention the very start of the show with Ty Claude and
Oh, sorry.
Boots.
Yeah. Ty
Oh,
and
fuck
Claude
that
boots.
guy. Fuck that guy.
Fucking hell.
Fuck that toy cloth fella.
I
What
still
a
can't.
prick.
I still can't get used to Boots with the mustache. It's just looking
Oh
at him. I was
yeah.
like, who is this guy?
So I was talking to Boots as well in Belfast on Sunday, and I says the mustache needs to grow on me, like it really does, because
It
it
needs to
looks
grow
so
on him too.
yeah, it looks so different. And he said he had shaved the mustache with the short hair, and it just didn't look right. So he needed something on his face. So that's why he decided to grow that out, like and
Yeah.
use the mustache. But he says it
It-
just didn't look right without it at all. So no, I think he looks great. I think he was criticizing his haircut. He said that he didn't like it himself, but I think it's a good look from I'd say maybe turn the mustache into a bit of a beard or a goatee or something. I'm not a fan of just a mustache.
Yeah, he needs
It's
that.
it's just 70s, 80s
He
porn
needs.
star vibes. Like
Yeah, he
that's
needs like the Doc Holliday, fucking mustache and
yeah.
beard that Val Kilmer had and White Earp or something like that. If he's going to be a cowboy, he needs to have something else.
Yeah, but like he said that he needed something to cover the face because I think he probably just looked too young without it and without the hair and stuff. But yeah, it was a good it's a good way to heat the crowd up at the start. I think with Toy bringing a bit of heat and then
I
Vince
just
kind of coming out like
I don't know like what they're doing with him and the Sabres as it with Anita now have they moved Ty away from the Sabres or
it appears to be. Yeah, I reckon he's that kind of what is he called, the HR kind of person when Joe was here like so. I think it's interesting. We'll see what they can do with it. I like the dynamic of it.
yeah.
Even if he is a prick. Toy, you're a fucking prick. Because Toy doesn't lie, he's always lying like. But,
He gave our friend Jordan got me a roast from him and he ripped it into me. So yeah, Ty, fuck you, Ty.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. So yeah, to go back to the Leon Robbie X match,
Yeah.
just like I haven't really watched any of the show yet, but like it's just, the two of them. You can put either of them with anyone, and they'd have a fucking good match regardless. Like it's just.
Can you imagine the atmosphere if they were on, TV, like somewhere at AEW, like the place would go fucking spastic.
yeah,
The pace that they go at, they start off, the pace is just
like I'd love it. I'd love if like they got 12 minutes there with entrances. You're probably talking 20, a bit of smalls shit going on at the start as well, getting the crowd cheered up before the bell. So you're probably talking about 20, 22 minutes maybe. If they were to get that 20 minutes or even 15 minutes on an AEW or a TNA or something, and half the crowd not knowing who they are, they fucking love them by the end of it.
yeah.
Like,
That's the one thing that's missing from AEW now, that they don't do AEW Dark anymore.
yeah.
That like when just like when last year when AEW had done All In, they had done like an hour taping for Wembley or something.
Yeah.
Get a few of the UK Irish lads on, introduce them to the Dark. Like I know Jericho said on the podcast that he that if they do ever come over to London, that Oku was going to be on it, and obviously that didn't happen. But I saw this year, if they do a Dynamite or even a Collision or like a Rampage or something like that,
Yeah.
that a lot of the UK people are gonna get on that, and then hopefully give everyone a chance to see what they like, because Americans don't tend to watch UK or British
No.
Irish indie wrestling, so
I
that's the
reckon
only way
that
they can.
I reckon the Rev Pro stuff might kind of tie them in a bit because
Yeah,
then
yeah, it
like they're
will
in that
help.
kind of unofficial type partnership deal, and then they did the Jericho pop up. They had Osprey on that show last year, and I think that was probably rather they obviously didn't do Dark, but like them popping up with Aussie Open as well was kind of like a little kind of plug. It's like, here, watch this thing instead, and you'll see some talent. We're after being on this, we're endorsing this.
Yeah.
And then didn't they show it? I think they showed clips on the kickoff. They showed clips from Rev Pro on the kickoff of AEW All In as
Revolution.
well, I think.
Revolution? No, did they show it this year?
For
Yeah,
Osprey,
Osprey and Oku?
they showed the sorry in Wembley, like. They
Oh
showed
yeah,
the
they did,
the kickoff for All In. They showed clips from
Of
Rev Pro the night
Jericho
before
attacking
of
him.
Jericho and
Yeah.
Osprey and stuff. So again, that in itself is like, go watch this thing, like.
Yeah.
And maybe there's gonna be a little tie in there or something that they might be able to offer out that show to the wider audience in some way, shape, or form. Like that they've been doing a lot of lives, and maybe that might be one that they can try push onto some AEW fans as a freebie or something, like to grow that audience, like. But yeah, these two are just fucking exceptional.
One like I want Leon back because the OTT crowd has not seen his finisher yet.
I know he didn't do it.
Did he not
He
do
hasn't
it?
done
Did he
it.
not do it over here?
No, he hasn't done it over here. He hasn't done
No.
an OTT ever, because he hasn't. I don't think he's ever won a match. Has he won a match in Ireland? I don't think he
so.
has. Maybe he might have won in.
Maybe a multi-man match. Maybe he was
Yeah,
a 6-man or 7-man.
did he win against? No, he lost against Oku in Wolverhampton because Oku won that. I think
Yeah.
one of the first shows. But yeah, his win-loss record in OTT is a lot to be desired. But it's still great to watch him. But I'm sure, like, if he got to do his finishing move, people would just fucking lose their shit because
Yeah,
it's
I know I've seen it. I've seen it live, but I can't remember where I've seen it or what promotion it was.
yeah.
It might have been when we were in London last
Like,
year.
I've seen him over 10 times, and I've only seen him the move about 2 or 3, not even 2 or 3 times. Like,
yeah.
it's just one of those special moves.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So good.
I can't wait
but
to
we
see
had
him on
match.
we had the longest match in OTT history though.
TV.
74 minutes 40 seconds according to the cage match. Which
Well,
I don't
according
know.
to Angle and the VOD, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
2 hours and 15 minutes.
That's what he said on the VOD. Probably not like, but
no, like it could have well been like because it didn't finish until just before the main.
yeah.
So and it was the second segment match thing. So like it could have well been 2 hours like easily. But yeah, that's just genius. Like it's
Hilarious.
so good. Like, and it's a good kind of team to kind of run through the show because you can keep bringing it back as well. Like, you know, so
Because there's no real way like for Barry and Big Damo to, like, in a real world, like, no real way to for Barry to. No offense to Barry, I love you, Barry, if you're listening. but a guy at Damo's size, like, there's no way, like, and yeah, because no one takes Big Hill seriously in OTT, but we should though, because he's a great wrestler.
Yeah, he's able to hit Damo. He was able to hit a brainbuster.
I know Colin said it earlier on today that, like, he's the best, one of the top 1% seller in Ireland, like even in Europe, like he's just the best. But realistically, it was just the best way to get a good match out. Not even a good match, but a legit match out of Damo and the two of them. Like it was so funny though. Like Barry could just make anyone laugh.
Just imagine how fun his title reign. Like if he's he's won the Rumble, he's heading the Scrapper, whenever.
It's gonna be Zack Ryder. It'll be a Zack Ryder. Like you'll win it on Saturday, lose it on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what
you think.
Yeah,
definitely.
Rob, me and Rob were talking earlier on today, and Rob, I'll let Rob tell you like what his prediction would be, like, which I
it won't happen if I say it, but
Joe doesn't watch this either.
But like, yeah, I said like they're gonna do another briefcase match at the start of the show of Scrapper Mania, and you'll either have Sammy or Jay in it, and then you have to get the main event with Trent and B will win, big massive celebration, confetti and all that shit, and then you think the show's over, and then like I think Foxy should like leave the ring so he's not there, just Barry on his own, and then everyone's getting ready to go, and then whoever has the briefcase just runs back in and just smacks Barry, and then you have the feud of the next 1 or 2 months, the anniversary of Barry against maybe Sammy or Jay, whoever it is, but I say it'd be Sammy.
Yeah,
but I just think
that'd
that
be great to see.
Yeah,
I just think that like he deserves the moment, Barry does.
Oh, definitely.
But he's better. There's some people that are just better as chasers and not being chased.
Yeah,
he doesn't need a title, like,
exactly
at all. Like,
I can't picture a Be Cool title reign. I can picture him winning it. I can picture him winning it in a moment in a match, but I just can't picture what a title reign would be for him.
It'd be like
not in the current
Truth winning the title. It'd be just that one.
Yeah, that one moment.
Like R-Truth winning the title, and just like, that's all they need. Just give the fans what they want, and then after that, and then like the person, whoever it is that cashes in on them, is going to be the most hated person in OTT. So they get the heel heat, as they say. So that's what they want.
Are we going to get the proper Snake Sammy D back?
I say so. I think so anyway, because like I think he's a better heel than he is face. Like he's such a like obviously outside of wrestling, he's one of the nice guys ever. But he's a better prick in the ring and I think it's easier to hate him than love him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody else is.
I hope he doesn't, to be quite
Yeah.
honest.
I wouldn't be mad if he didn't, but I just think that he doesn't need the title anyway. Like he can, like it's just realistically the last, besides obviously his match against Trent the other night,
Mm.
his other matches there's no belief that he could lose it.
Yeah, I think that's been the case with OTT Championship rounds, though. We keep seeing
Yeah.
these very throwaway type matches. I think we spoke about this before a couple of times, Jerry, didn't we? That like
Yeah.
these kind of throwaway matches that doesn't have that inclination of, oh, he could possibly lose it here, you know. And I think the Flash one we did say about Flash coming in for a Rumble, that that kind of makes it a bit more realistic, but it's still a kind of throwaway match, although it's against a legit competitor. But like,
especially because
there's no
signed with
build.
Impact, we kind of knew.
Yeah, but there's no build, there's no story. It's you're coming into it pretty cold, and that's not what you expect from a title change. Now, it's not to say that it wouldn't happen or that it's not going to happen, but it's just something that you don't expect from a title change. You expect that big fight feel. You expect that kind of like uncertainty of what is like who's going to come out of this, like, you know. And I think that's what we had on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, we can get into it when we get.
That's never really happened in OTT. That like someone's come in and win, and that they
Amari, I think, is
away,
the only kind of one. The Amari one. That was a bit of an unknown. That was a bit of a shock, I think.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. That's
apart from that, like I did go back and have a look, and I
that
don't think there was any others that kind of like didn't have that build to it.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll get into the main event in a minute, and we can talk more about that. We'll talk about another title that was on the technically on the NL Dublin Championship. We had Renzo against Griffin McCoy.
This was like I was looking forward to seeing Griffin McCoy.
What do you know about him?
A few bits. I just know that he was on GCW and he was on they had recently had a tournament. Can't remember the name of the side, but he lost in the first round against Jordan Oliver, I think it was. But I was excited to see him because I always like seeing new people, and I just thought doing a heel versus heel is a bit for your first match to be introduced. It's in front of new people. It was just a bit. I don't know if that was his idea or anyone else's idea, but I think it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And like Colin said to me on the day that after the match that he was being healed, but he was still trying to do face stuff by picking up the crowd.
Yeah.
It's just
shot the bed. He shot the bed. In my opinion.
It didn't work. Like he's a great wrestler. He was a good wrestler. And it was like match wise, like the two of them did have good chemistry. But it was just.
I just think he got the assignment. I really just don't think he got the assignment. Like you can do heel versus heel really well. You can, and the two of them could be trying to outdo each other heelish. You know, trying to be like worse than the other one. You know, but yeah, it was just those moments, as Rob was saying, what I was saying to him on Saturday. It was just those moments where he goes into the corner, Renzo's down, and he's geeing up his move, and the crowd doesn't come up from him. And the crowd isn't going to come up from him. Let's be realistic. He's a heel. They made it very clear at the start that he's a heel. He was telling the crowd to shut the fuck up and all. Like, so he's waiting for the crowd to come up, and the crowd isn't coming up. And he starts doing the hand move, like, come on, come up with me, like, you know. And they some of them did, but like you're not going to get that. And then he did it again. And it's like, you're I don't think you're understanding that you're a heel. You're after telling the crowd to go fuck themselves, and now you're trying to G up a move and get the crowd to come up for you, which just isn't going to happen. And that kind of just takes you out of it. And it's just, I just don't think he got the assignment. I could see Renzo. Renzo is a very, very good wrestler, and I think Renzo was a much better wrestler than this fella as well. I don't think he could keep up with Renzo. I think Renzo really had to slow down from him. And I think Renzo did really well having the match, but I didn't know the fella before we came into it, but I can't see him coming back, to be quite honest, because I don't think he really had a very good match. I don't think he held himself really well in there. I don't think he got the assignment, and the match was really flat.
I just watching more clips of the Damo Barry because there's one straight after the Griffin McCoy match,
Yeah.
and they're in the bathrooms, and it's just I haven't watched any of this before, but it's comical. The Damo, like Big Damo, is just I don't know.
He gets
He
it. He
deserves.
just gets
He
it.
should be. He should be like I don't know why WWE let him go. Like he's just like I don't know. Like Impact. If Impact haven't signed him now, they should be.
Yeah,
They should be like. I know they had him on what 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He should be there. Like he's just
Yeah, his
too
clock
good.
is kind of ticking now as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
yeah, I think he needs to kind of get something relatively soon. Like he's doing well. And listen, I'm not sure if he needs it financially either. Like, hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he's done well with his money and stuff, and he doesn't need that big contract. But like, yeah, I think the clock is very much ticking from. I think he's coming up to 40. So, that's kind of like your barrier. Usually when you hit that big 40, you like your time doesn't have much left unless like you're a Flair or a Undertaker or something like that, you know. But so if he
I'd be
wants to do something or still has something left in the tank, I think
yeah. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go to TNA because him and Axel are back in America in April. They're advertising a Sanity, like so.
Yeah.
You know.
I know that's one. I thought I was gonna be announced at Gaff Party for Wrestling Rama when Damo got on the mic instead of that he was gonna bring over Insanity or say Sanity for Wrestling Rama and do like a big 6-man tag or something against the Kings or something. But obviously with what happened in Belfast, that not gonna happen now. So now is what we're moving on to now. We have the Dara segment.
Dara and
the mammy.
The mammy.
The mammy segment. Fuck Dara Lynch. Don't mind him.
Like the mammy Ashland is the greatest thing that's happened in OTT.
She's just loving it, isn't she?
She's brilliant. She took her first bump. Took her first bump on
Saturday.
She's absolutely hilarious. Mr. Cadbury, like just. Did you hear one of the crowd chanting during this segment? And then they broke Ashton. It was like very rude. I can't repeat it, but Santos like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and what will I do next? And then people shout out, like, Dara's mom. And then she loved it, but it was just fucking hilarious. But yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah, they did the whole what was it? Is it From the Graduate where he carries her out at the end? So they did that.
Oh no, it's Officer and a Gentleman.
Officer and a Gentleman, that's the one. Yeah.
She was delayed. I seen the picture. Somebody had her phone up, and she has her own Instagram account and everything now. And she had pictures. Somebody from the balcony was looking down at her getting carried out by Santos. So
she was loving it. She was absolutely loving it. That's going to be interesting. Now, obviously, brings us into a match with Santos and Dara.
OTT
dates. I'm trying to think dates.
No, it's the show.
It's the
KFRC show.
Yeah, the weekend of WrestleMania, the Sunday of WrestleMania.
Yeah, the one with the
second one.
It's the draw on the poster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I was trying to think of a date, but I can't remember.
The name of the show.
Yeah. Supremacy.
Supremacy
is the name of the show.
Is it a house show? Is it a part
of
No,
it's a proper OTT
show. Has he had a match on proper OTT yet? Does he?
Oh yeah.
He's with
loads. Not on his own. I don't think he's had a singles though.
Yeah, on his own. Yeah.
No,
he's a type of con.
Yeah.
Con Kelly.
Like he's had some big matches. Like he had a match with Aussie Open and stuff. Like so.
That was a great match. It's a tag match.
Yeah.
Great match.
And then they got destroyed. Then by was it Damo and the Kings? Was that the match?
I think so.
Against the Three Boys, and they absolutely got battered in Belfast. But
CBL.
like he's been
CBL,
CBL was there, yeah. Like they've been the boys have been around. Dara's been around as well. But I think this might be his first OTT main show singles match. I'm not sure if he might have had matches on Contenders before, but I can't recall him having an actual singles main show match. But that'll be interesting. That one. But we the tag match then we had the Hype Dogs over from France. They put in a great performance both days. BDE and then the Freshness bribed Joe into the match
with the Galaxy bar.
with a bar, yeah. And Joe was saying no until JB got on the mic and made him turn his head. But Freshness with their first win in a long
Forever.
time, Jesus. Well, they were Los Mopadores for a while as well, weren't they? So Jesus, we're
Yeah.
probably going back
No,
over a
sure,
year.
they obviously got the win against Sammy for the
No,
contract.
they didn't win. They lost the match,
Oh,
and
actually, no,
they
sorry.
stole
Yeah,
they
They
yeah,
stole
they
the
lost
stole the
contract.
They
Yeah,
contract.
should
yeah.
won the
So
contract fast,
I
yeah.
think this is
Sorry.
the
Yeah, yeah,
Freshness, the
yeah.
officially the
Yeah.
Freshness first win in probably like Jesus, probably the anniversary against Flash and Andrews. I think we're probably going back that
Christ,
far.
that's a long time.
Yeah, like I think that was anniversary, not the one gone, the one before that. Like, and because then they went into a losing streak, then they got fired, and then they went into the Los Mopadores stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's well over a year since the Freshness had a win. Like, but good to see the boys back, and we'll talk a bit more about Kuro and Mecca. They were obviously on the Belfast show as well. But yeah, that was a solid three-way tag match. That yeah,
Mecca's just the size of him, like the stuff
the
he's
tank.
doing.
He's
He's
a
a tank.
Yeah,
beast, yeah.
He's fast though.
yeah.
And then Kuro is just too cool as well. Like the two of them are deadly.
Kuro has a very Shane Strickland vibe about
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Yeah,
And no, I'm not being racist because they're both black or whatever. But
he's
Kuro is just he has that aura, he has that cool kind of suave charisma, very similar to what Swerve has. And I think if Kuro can kind of hone that and utilize it a bit more. And one of the things that Strickland had was his entrance. I think if
Mm.
Kuro can hone a good entrance and kind of have that
Presence.
vibe as he's
Yeah,
coming out and just kind of like people understand he's a superstar
yeah,
before he
yeah.
even starts the match. Which is what Swerve had going from. I think like I don't think he's far off from having that kind of vibe, and I think he just needs to hone a few things, but I think he has big things in his
How,
future.
how much is OTT's bill for toilet roll every year? Would it be
I heard that Toy Claude actually has to wrap all them back up at the end of each show for the next show. So as far as I know, they're reused.
recycled?
And I just heard this. This is just a rumor, but Toy supposedly has to do that. It's part of him keeping his job as his HR representative, and why Joe likes him so much because he keeps traveling up the toilet roll and saving him a lot of money. Like, but yeah, that's just a bit of rumor, but I heard it from a very reliable source.
No shit.
Shh.
Um,
Uh,
Leo and Scotty.
yeah, I was very surprised by this one. I was very surprised. First, I didn't think Scotty was going to go over. I really
Oh
didn't.
yeah, no fucking hell, what a
Now
finish.
I've been very skeptical on Leo Rush. I'm not his biggest fan to say the least. I very much think that he is an amazing wrestler. Very, very good wrestler. Just he does tend to get into an awful lot of stuff with the promotions he's been with and outside the ring, and it always kind of seems to me that like he always has issues wherever he goes, and kind of when I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, there's one common denominator there, isn't there? Like, which is him. So maybe he's the problem and not the promotions. And but like he's a phenomenal wrestler, but just due to some of the stuff that I've heard, I wasn't. I was very surprised when he actually gave or put Scotty over in this one, like, which was very surprising. And then he did that corner bump, where he
Jeez,
fucks
and
himself
done it
out of.
again as well after it.
I thought he was dead. I actually thought he was dead. Like I was like, fuck, this is after going very, very wrong. But yeah, Jesus, very good match, very technical. Then
Yeah.
like the pacing was very good, like really kind of slow start and build, which is great to see. And yeah, but like just Scotty Davis, good to see him back as a singles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the tag stuff was working. I don't think it was bad either. I really don't, but I just don't think it was getting the traction it should have gotten
Yeah,
because like Amari and Scotty Davis are two exceptional wrestlers. And you think that putting two exceptional wrestlers together, they're going to be exceptional together. But there was just something was just a miss, just wasn't clicking. So, it's good to see Scotty kind of back as a singles. Obviously, I think that's after going away now. and I think we have what I think I call them the new old Scotty back. So where he goes with it, I don't know, but
Well, he kind of
hopefully
called out. Did he call out Sammy D, or he was calling out the champion afterwards when he won the match?
not that I noticed.
It seemed that way on the VOD. There was a camera
Okay.
up on his face after he won, and I think he said something about Sammy D, and he started, gesturing
Yeah,
towards
yeah.
having a
Oh,
belt on. So
maybe he is. Maybe he is pushing for that championship run. I don't think he's ever got it, Rob, as far as I remember.
Not against Sammy anyway.
No, I think
His
he's had a couple of matches. Didn't he have the match with Jordan before? But I don't think
Yeah.
I think it was one of those matches as
He's
well
watching
where
again now.
it wasn't kind
He's
of
just on the
built.
turnbuckle.
Yeah, it wasn't kind of built. It wasn't pushed. So it was just a match, Scotty Davis against the champion for the championship. So, I don't think he's ever had that kind of push to that championship, to the OTT championship. So that would be it'd be interesting and it'd be good to see, because I think
He did. I just watched it there. He does make a belt motion. So
okay.
whether it's going for Sammy, I don't know, but yeah, he
Yeah.
does make a belt motion. So
Well, you say whether he's going for Sammy or not now. Like, well, Sammy's no longer the champion.
yeah.
for the world title. I say yeah. Say you don't need the
Yeah.
world
Well,
title.
he didn't know Sammy was going to lose.
No, we didn't. No, we
Sure,
didn't.
well.
No, and he's I don't know if he got upset about it either, like other people did, but yeah, we can talk about that.
Well, let's talk about it though. I don't think there's anything else. I know they finished off with the Damo and Be Cool was got their finish, and into that with and
Yeah.
Flex came back, and Flex, we did mention the Flex was the referee.
Yeah.
Foxy
he's
finally got a break.
Say Foxy was delighted.
He was delighted. The longest match in probably wrestling history, and Foxy didn't ref it.
Yeah, that's for a change. But
So
yeah,
Sammy, Trent, and Jay.
yeah, probably one of in my opinion, probably one of the best matches that OTT have ever produced.
Crazy good, wasn't it?
Definitely up there. I haven't watched it back, which I'm going to need to do. Being in attendance and being live and watching it live, I think that the threads running into it were brilliant. I did feel going into it, they obviously had two matches advertised. They had Trent versus Sammy and Wolves, and then the winner versus Jay in Dublin. Obviously, we know what happened with Wolves. That was cancelled. It was turned into a triple threat then. So obviously that has its own kind of things. Like, how do you tie these threads together?
Yeah.
But I think they did an exceptional job of kind of tying everything together, because you had the thing with Sammy and Jay going on. You had the thing with Sammy and Trent going on, and then Jay made some comments about Trent then as well to kind of tie everything together. So they brought it in really well. And yeah, I just think for me, without watching it back, this is probably in my top 5 OTT matches. And could be challenging for number 1. Like, it was exceptional, absolutely exceptional in my opinion.
Was the commentary team that you didn't hear? They were hyping up the fact that it was kind of Jay and Sammy against Trent, and
okay.
As long as one of them wins and keeps the title in the draw, that's the kind of the story they were trying to tell. They were pushing for that to keep it in the draw, but you saw the promo today that was after the show, and Sammy going mad on Jay for not being selfish or whatever, but
well, like,
it was never going to be that way.
But then they had the promo beforehand with Jay and Sammy, and when Jay said that he was having the match in Dublin, and then like, I fucking will be ready, I think is what Jay finished with. Like, well, you want to be ready for it, because like, when we're in a match together, the draw kind of goes out the window. Like,
with that,
bring it.
With that promo, that was before Wolver was cancelled, so
it was
Trent winning in Wolver?
We'll never know.
Was he hyping Jay up to be ready for Trent?
We'll never know.
I know.
We will never know.
I think like the reaction if Trent had won in Wolverhampton, the reactions would be like polar opposite to what we got. Like it'd be like obviously Wolverhampton we got fucking ape shit for it.
Yeah.
And I think
in my opinion, Trent was winning on Wolver.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Like I definitely think so too. But I just can't imagine like this is no diss on Wolverhampton, like, but OTT is an Irish promotion, and
Yeah.
it's just like for the world title to change in Wolverhampton,
Yeah.
like the Irish fans would just be like, "What the hell's going on?" And then
Yeah.
as they one that it's gone to like it's happened in the UK, and
Yeah.
also two that they've missed it, like they
Nobody
weren't
saw it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
I get that, but then like I'll always try look at the other side of the coin, and I do get your point, and I do get like if I wasn't there, which I wasn't going to be, I'd have been sick that I missed it.
uh,
But the flip side is that like you're then moving your title to a crowd that is still getting to grips with what the promotion
yeah,
actually is. You're then saying to them that this could potentially happen anytime, and maybe you need to come see all of our shows now in
yeah,
future as well. So there's also that other kind of selling point, and then that kind of tells not just the Wolverhampton crowd, but the UK crowd. Like maybe you should be making the trip for this show. Maybe you should
yeah,
be coming. Like if you're in the surrounding areas, if you're in Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, around those areas, come to Wolverhampton, like and see these shows. Because this could happen. You could see a big championship change. So
I I also noticed the last few like progress in Red Pro and TNT, they've gotten into live streaming.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I wonder, will Joe ever think about that? Consider try it once and see if it affects
just
the
pros and
subscription.
cons. Yeah,
Because like, just say if you actually can't go to a show and you want to watch it live rather than having to wait. Like, I went fairness to Matthew Macklin, he gets to
Yeah.
show up the fucking
yeah,
next day, so you're
Crazy.
not really waiting that long. But just like if you had like a few friends over and you wanted to watch it live, like, and you were just living in the UK or something, it just it, watching it live is better than watching it a day after when you
Yeah.
know
When you know what
what's gonna
happened.
happen.
Yeah.
like there are
But
there are pros and cons. Like
yeah,
the biggest issue you'd have is people not attending the show. Then,
yeah,
like I think is one of the big factors in it. Is if we do this, are we potentially not going to have ticket sales for our
yeah,
live show? And then is it worth it because then you're selling your show for
yeah.
probably going onto your on-demand service, which is $8 a month or something, rather than the 35 quid that you're going to be getting at the door.
Yeah.
So it does kind of open up some very dodgy territory. And if you are selling out maybe every show, I think you could probably look at it as a no-brainer. But if you're not selling out every show and
Yeah.
potentially not filling out every venue and have people clamoring for tickets, I think you might run into issues.
Yeah. You would need a big name. It'd have to be like a stadium show and have
Yeah.
a few big names on the card.
Like there will be some
Yeah.
that will still want to be there live, but then
Uh,
your people who are maybe 50-50 are like, oh, I'd like to go to the show. Oh, well, there's only one way that I can see it. I'll have to go, or I'll find out who's going to win and then watch the VOD. But if you say, oh, well, there's a live stream, it's like, oh, well, why do I have to go then? Why would I travel from Carlow, Kilkenny, Kildare, Wicklow, wherever you're coming from, or Jerry from Cork? Why would I take that 3 hour drive up and
Yeah.
back? When I can pay 8 quid and watch it on demand, so it's
Because there was one live show. Yeah, the first stadium show was live on Flow Slam.
yeah,
But that was Kenny Omega in the books, like so.
yeah. Heard it
Like
was a disaster
it was a
from a
disaster.
logistical
I don't
yeah.
even
standpoint
think
as well.
it wasn't
Yeah,
live at all. Like I
yeah,
think it fucked up.
yeah.
I'm
I heard it
watching
was
this
a bit
now
of a
that the
disaster.
the main event when Trent is sitting on Sean's
Yeah.
Sean's lap and the uns the unsuspected dive, like that could have been
Gone so
disastrous. I'm
wrong.
just
That
so
was
happy that it wasn't. I'm just so
yeah.
happy it wasn't my lap because I'd be still on the ground
We
now.
got we got a bit of a fright. So Trent is sitting on Sean's knee. I'm sitting
Yeah.
beside Sean.
Taking a
Um,
selfie. You've seen it.
so
You see it on
yeah, so
demand.
so Trent came down and sat down, and I was like, "Fuck it." I got the phone out, and I'm looking this way. The ring is that way, and I'm like this. Get the selfie. I literally put my phone down and look back up, and Sammy is coming through the ropes, and I'm like, "Fuck." So like we didn't have a second to react. Um, yeah, Sean took the brunt of it, thankfully. But yeah, some hot start to it, and then yeah, like listen, the storyline running through that was brilliant. The throwback to Jay doing the 450 in Wolverhampton, busting himself open, nearly killing himself on that show, and the throwback to that to doing that 450 again was exceptional. The tie-ins with Barry coming in with Flex, um, just so much happened. And then even after Jay gets carted out,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going into that last kind of push, the last 3, 4, 5 minutes, it could have gone either way, like 5 or 6 times, and like the amount of times I thought it was over and then it wasn't over. So you have false finish, another false finish, and you're like, fucking hell, who's gonna get this one? Like, and then eventually Trent with the finish, like, and
Don't
then
forget about the Foxy spot.
a Foxy spot. Foxy's always getting himself into fucking trouble.
He's had more super kicks than fucking the Bucks have given out.
Keeps getting in the way. Need you. But yeah, like
He
listen,
needs to follow Deco's meme. Like, keep watching out for things like
yeah.
the blind referee meme.
But the finish was exceptional. The whole story run through that whole match. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait to go back and watch it again. I just haven't had the time to do it. But the story running through it was exceptional. The way that they built it was exceptional. It just probably a near perfect match, to be quite honest. I can't remember a bad moment. I can't remember a bit where I was like, oh Jesus, that didn't look right, or that was wrong. Because like you see something like that and it kind of takes you over for a second, But like I can't remember seeing one of them, like, when I was really in it the whole time. But the result is contentious.
You'd say
Um,
that.
yeah, like I love it. I'm gonna get a bit heated here. So I was talking to a few people the night of and the day after, and one person that I was talking to, I'll just give you an example, right? So one person that I was talking to said that he fucking hated the show, right? Not the match, not the finish. They hated the whole show. They didn't like it. They weren't happy. Blah blah blah. And I was like, why? Why? What did you not like about? Oh, the finish was bullshit. Oh, Trent winning was a lot of bollocks. I was like, okay. I says, but like, remember Jay's spot through the table? Do you remember like the package pile drivers and the heated up to the finish and the dive that Sammy did at the very start to get the crowd going, the chair spots, Trent falling onto that, all that. Oh yeah, they were all brilliant, weren't they? And I'm like, okay, and what about the other matches? Like, what about the triangle tag match? What about I'm not going to talk about the NLW Championship match. But Damo and Barry, Leon and Robbie, Scotty and Leo. Oh yeah, they were brilliant. I said, so let me get this straight. So you loved all those matches, you loved the main event, you didn't like the finish, and now the whole show was bollocks. I'm like, that's mental. That is mental. Like, how can you like have that one result overshadowing what a great show the whole thing was from start to finish? And they admitted that it was great from start to finish, but one result, and just the result alone makes them say that the whole show was shy. It's like that's crazy.
Watching too many Netflix movies.
Yeah, but it's like
With
how
bad endings and good fucking films until the end
but
and
like
they're
the
shit.
amount of people that got heated, and not just heated. I get people getting heated and be like, oh, it's a load of bollocks or whatever. But like after 20 minutes or so, like you should be calming down and say, Jesus, that was a good show, wasn't it? Like, but the amount of outrage, like, oh, that's fucking ridiculous. What? Because your favorite wrestler didn't win, or because they lost their championship? Like, get over it. Like,
I don't think
That's why I
anybody was
said on
expecting
Facebook
it.
after that night.
Like I love seeing people getting passionate about it, and I love seeing people get emotional about it and excited about it. But like when it goes to the extent of you actually getting really, really annoyed and pissed off and going home annoyed about a show that you've been to, it's like, but like I can get it if you went to like a fucking Mickey Mouse Carney show and the wrestling was shit and you were like, that was a big load of bollocks. I'm never going to that again. I wasted my time and my money. But like this was one of the best OTT shows that they've had. Like, and they've had a lot of good shows recently, but this was an exceptional show start to finish. There wasn't like bad shit on it. There's nothing that you should be going home and saying that was fucking shite. Now I get the drink issue. I get that the venue was cold. That's out of OTT's hands.
That's not that's not
But
OTT's
looking at the actual wrestling and the actual product, and to say that show was shit is just absolute bollocks just because your favorite wrestler didn't win. And there was people walking out, you could see tears in their eyes, like people getting so angry that they're like crying on the way out the door. It's like you need to be having a fucking serious word with yourself. If you're going to wrestling shows, you're going there to enjoy it. You're spending hard-earned money to go there. Go there and enjoy yourself. That's what you're there for. Like as Liz said, if it's entertaining, enjoy yourself or whatever she says. I don't know what her line is. You
If
might
it's
ask
not
her after.
if it's entertaining, enjoy it. That's
Enjoy
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like don't be getting so worked up. Like you're working yourself into a shoot, like all because your favorite wrestler lost. You know, like that's just mental.
If I stopped going after my favorite wrestler lose, I wouldn't be there still going after fucking 6, 7 years. Like
Yeah.
it's the whole entertainment of it, like the whole being sucked in by who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, your favorite. Like it's just it's if
Like
you
that's
know
the
it's
thing. Like I'm one of the biggest Sammy and Jay fans. Genuinely, I am, and people have probably seen me flipping Sammy off in the crowd and stuff like that. I find like I'm such a fan of his, like I always have been. And like when Sammy is a heel, I'll flip Sammy off, and that's my way of supporting him because he's trying to
yeah
portray
exactly.
this heel
Mm-hmm.
persona. So I'll throw my finger up at him because that's what he wants. He wants people to be pissed off at him. He wants people to be annoyed at him. He wants the heat. And like that's why I boo him. That's why I throw my fingers up at him. It's not because I dislike him. It's because he is a heel and I am buying into him being a heel. And when he's a good guy, I'll cheer him. And that's what I've been doing. And I guess some people don't, and I guess some people cheer heels and boo faces and stuff. That's fine. Like you go and do whatever the fuck you want, genuinely. But like just don't be getting so annoyed just because your favorite wrestler lost. Like I didn't want Trent to win the weekend either. I really didn't. I wanted Sammy to retain. I think Sammy's a great champion. I think he's the best wrestler in Ireland right now, and he has been for the last 2 years. But like, I'm really excited to see where this Trent stuff goes. Like, really, really excited, and I'm looking forward to the chase now as well. I'm looking forward to Barry being there. Like, look at the implications that come out of it. Sammy lost after having Trent pinned in the ring for like 2 minutes. Jay had to be carted out, so couldn't technically finish the match. Can he come back then and say, I was never beaten? Of course he can. You have Barry, is still owed a championship opportunity after winning the Rumble, potentially at Scrappermania. So like there's so many threads of a storyline that can run into this. And then also we have a TNA signed wrestler
Yeah,
who's a former WWE NXT Tag Team Champion and a former NXT UK Tag Team Champion with the OTT Championship, hopefully fucking off to the UK or to the US to take that championship with him. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We don't know yet. But like that championship might pop up on telly. People might see
yeah.
that championship and be like, "Oh, what's that title? What's that title he's holding?" We seen what Osprey was able to do with the Rev Pro Championship, bringing that to New Japan, bringing that to the US, and people are looking at that. What championship is that? Oh, maybe I'll check that promotion out. Like it does. There are positives to what's after happening, and then we're going into a chase as well. So just don't be getting worked up about like get worked up, but like don't be getting like so annoyed. It's not worth it. You go to enjoy these things. It's just crazy to me that you're going home pissed off, upset, annoyed over a show that was meant to be for your entertainment. Sorry I got
I
hot.
just think that with
But I've been
Trent,
talking about this all weekend
with
and all week. So yeah.
Let somebody else talk now, Colin. You've had enough.
Sorry. I get heated about these things.
no, I was saying with Trent like being contracted to Impact, like there's a likelihood that he's going to be booked for future dates that clash with OTT,
Yeah.
and that I think works in its favor because by the time it gets to Scrappermania, people are going to be, if they are not already are, they're going to be sick of Trent not being able to defend it,
Yeah.
and the stadium is going to be fucking molten for Barry to win the match, and the atmosphere is going to be amazing. And as I said, if Barry gets that win and gets that moment, it'll be fantastic. And then for 3 minutes later, for it to be fucking ruined by I don't know whoever wins the briefcase. It could be like the atmosphere, the emotion
It's
would
gonna
just
be
be.
so many fucking tears on Facebook after that show, Rob.
But that's there will be. People need to, as you said, like don't take it too seriously, but
Yeah,
just get caught up in the emotions, but not that much.
yeah.
Like
I
it
think
will
it's
be like
I think it's going to be great for him to be champion, even as for a short reign. Like, but
Yeah.
you've
yeah,
seen Lesnar and Roman being champions in WWE and being away for ages,
yeah.
like, and coming back and it being actually a proper special moment when the champion's actually on the show. So
It,
there is
it
there's
can
a
work,
couple of,
but
yeah, of course.
once if it is that the case that they can't have the OTT championship on every show, I want them to treat the other belts with a little bit more
Yeah.
Yeah,
like like the NLW belt and whatever about the GN belt. I know that's no offense to where it's lean and all that. It's just that like it's not a comedy belt. Like I want her to come here and have
yeah.
good matches. Like just like, I know it's not up to her, but if she could come here and have some good matches and defend it and treat it as a proper belt,
Yeah.
and then the NLW belt, like just treat the other belts as like what the Intercontinental US title are being treated as now, kind of a little bit more respect than it were what 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so, just know that like the OTT World title is not the only title in the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you saw in Belfast with Renzo, he was supposed to be defending
Yeah,
the NLW title in the main event against Damo. We've seen, Martina and Debbie in the main event spots. There's no reason why the other belts can't be main event shows
The
while
tags as
Trent
well.
is
Like
away.
look
Yeah.
look at the tag division right now.
yeah,
I think the tag division right now is super hot.
Hmm.
We've a lot of tag teams. It's something that a lot of people were kind of saying that we didn't have a lot of kind of in the last couple of years. And I think we're now after getting to a position where we do have those
Hmm.
tag teams. I think a lot of time and effort has gone in from the lads in the tag team, from the promotions to put them there, that we actually do have like a lot of good, very, very good tag teams right now. And there's no reason why a tag team championship can't main event
yeah,
a show,
Yeah.
in its stead. Like that subculture against Freshness match that was in Wolverhampton could have main evented any show, in my
yeah.
opinion. Like if it's done to that extent and it's built the right way, there's no reason.
So isn't the subculture against Freshness one all? So
Yeah,
I think there should be
Yeah.
a third match, and that why was the first? Why was the Dublin match? Was that in the comp? That was in the complex. So obviously
yeah,
it should be the stadium. That should be a stadium match if ever. Like so,
yeah,
and I know I'm sure they do want to come back over again. I forgot to mention I was talking to Leo Rush the other day at the Mark Good show about Scotty for a second, and he just said that I asked him what he thought about Scotty. He was like, he's freakishly strong. So, and he really liked working with him. So, I forgot to say that actually, by the way. But yeah, just watching Trent now lift up the title, the bastard.
But I can fly through the Belfast
Yeah.
show. Like just to preface this, that like the Belfast shows, I did say this. I was talking to a couple of people on the Facebook group about this. Like, I think the Belfast shows have kind of got a little bit stale. The shows are very much the same. A lot of the time, we're getting an awful lot of the same type matches. They just don't have the feel to me that the Dublin matches have. They don't have the same builds. And it's just I think they could do with a shake up. I think they could definitely do with advertising as an over 16s, over 18 show, but we're going to allow kids to attend it, but there will be adult teams on these shows. I think that could potentially make them that little bit more edgier, um add that little bit extra to the show. I don't know. I just think that it needs something. I just think that over the last year or so that the Belfast shows have gotten a little bit samey, and I think there needs to be maybe a little bit of a different direction. But I'll run through the Belfast show. So Session Moth beat Corey Zero. Great performance by Corey Zero
Brilliant
as
match. They got a lot of time, didn't they?
Sorry again. They did, and like Corey, definitely impressive. I know one of Rob's favorite wrestlers. Like she's exceptional from only being around for a couple of years. I want to see more of Corey.
Hmm.
I think a lot of fans have taken to her, and yeah, I'd really like to see a lot
She's
more of her on
believable. Like
OTT.
you believe that she'll kick her ass. Like
Yeah,
she's just
yeah, she's
Who,
she's scary, like.
okay.
who's the one that hangs with Len Austin in Progress?
L.A. Taylor,
LA
No,
Taylor.
no, there's another one. There's a
Oh, Scotty
sure.
Smithson.
Sky Smith. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She's
she
brilliant.
reminds me of her. Yeah,
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 she's like a bit of a brawler, like.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she has that brawler type style, and no, she's very good. She did an old school. She walked the ropes like instead of
Hmm.
hitting the snake eyes, she does this front flip into an arm drag.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
front flip lands it on her feet off the rope and then into an arm drag. Pretty cool move. And then she's a few good submissions as well. But she's very talented individual. Session obviously picking up the win with a code breaker and then a super code breaker off the ropes as
Hmm.
well. But very good match that. I don't think there was anything bad on the show, to be quite honest. And this did again going back. I just think it's a bit the shows are a bit stale. There's nothing bad. The matches are good. Get out and see them. But me as a fan who goes to a lot of wrestling shows and I goes to a lot of the Belfast shows, I'd like to see just a bit of a shake up. Like, we had Freshness against Hype Dogs. That was another money match. Extremely athletic from both sides, and I think Rob said already that Mecca, considering the size of him, that fella can move around the
Hmm.
ring, you know. Some destroyers, shooting stars. There was people flying everywhere. It was a great watch. I think that dropped today. The
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Belfast
out already.
show.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
finished it this morning.
it-
Yeah.
How I seen you saying that Steers hit a Canadian destroyer on Fabio. What the hell happened there?
yeah. So yeah, you'll have to go. You'll have to go and watch it.
Uh,
Yeah, it was like um do you know the way that they do the pop-up kind of
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
onto him? I think it was something along, I can't remember exactly whether they got stairs and just popped them onto
Yeah,
Fabio or they threw him onto him into a destroyer or something, but
yeah,
it was probably one of the best destroyers I've seen. There was no, do you know why sometimes when they go into a destroyer they go onto it and then there's kind of like a pause for a second and then they go.
yeah.
This was just like it was like straight on and over,
Fluid,
like it
yeah.
was so smooth, it was perfect. Um, but yeah, like we did get a bit of a plot at the end of this. So Freshness with the win. And BDE came out and attacked the Freshness with JB, and then they announced the newest member of BDE, which was J Money. So J Money comes out with a pole. You know, one of those like barrier poles that you hook stuff onto, like hook a rope onto, like was one of them. Like it was really weird and it was way too big. I don't know what he was
That's all
doing.
I could find
It probably, probably, yeah.
in the street.
But he came out and then they announced him as the new member of BD, got on the mic and then he was calling the Freshness losers. And he goes, yeah, yous are losers and you've always been losers, but you've been my losers. We've been losers together, and then starts attacking BDE and now the Freshness are back together with J Money, which don't know, take that for what you will. I think it was a bit rushed. I think they could have teased it. Or I think J Money could have attacked BDE and kind of left and not had the reunion yet, kind of maybe like add in a bit of uncertainty from the Freshness. I don't know, but I think it was a little bit rushed. But anyway, J Money's back with the Freshness. We had Zarkov and Santos then. Santos sporting a tricolor on his gear and a
Yeah, I love
shamrock.
that.
So I think he's all in Irish wrestling. Santos, and I know Rob's a big advocate for Santos.
Yeah.
I think I was a bit critical of him from his match with Sammy. I thought I think it was too big too soon for him, to be quite honest. And I've seen him since, and that match on Sunday was perfect. He was able to put across everything that he is good at. He's this big powerhouse, and he was throwing Zarkov around the ring, hitting some big moves. And Zarkov as well held his own and
Hmm.
did really well. So it's good to see him back as well. Um, like Santos stuff, there was one part where he gets Zarkov up and he's pressing him over his head, like it's exceptional strength.
Zarkov's
Yeah,
not a small man, like.
no, no, he's not. And
Oh,
so, but yeah, so we obviously said Santos will be back at the April show. He has that match with Tara Lynch. We did then. I would go into this. There was a match that isn't on the VOD that I wanted to talk about. I was hoping Foxy would be here to give us his first hand um view on it, but unfortunately Foxy's not well. Um, but there was the same against Scotty Davis on the show. Um, pretty good match. The two lads did really well. Scotty was throwing Sam around the ring as he does. Sam got fired up then and started coming back and started putting a beating on Scotty, which was great to see. Like, so it was a really hot match, really good match, and I don't know what happened. I don't know the full ins and outs, but there was a move. Scotty pinned Sam, 2 count kick out, and then Scotty is saying, "What the fuck? Just stay down, whatever." And then his music starts playing, so no one really knew what was going on. There was a bit of confusion, and then Foxy's then saying, "It's over, it's over." So there was a lot of confusion going on there. I don't know if Scotty, if he counted a 3 count or he didn't see the kick out, or genuinely don't know what happened. That's why I was hoping Foxy would be here to kind of give us his side. But there was a lot of confusion in the crowd, and there was obviously something was off on that, and presumably that's why it's not in the VOD. But yeah, it was a bit confusing on the day. So I'd like to see that one ran back, because I think the match up until that point was very good, and they were really doing, like Sam especially was really doing very well, because I was wondering, was he going to be able to hang with Scotty? Because Scotty's tempo was really high, and Sam was hanging in there, you know. So I'd like to see that being ran back. And
That's not the first time they've been a match together, is it?
I don't know if it's the first time they've been in a match together. They may have been in a tag, but I think it's definitely the first time they've had a one-on-one.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, 100% it's the first time they had a one-on-one. But I think they may have been
I
in
think that was
tags.
Did they have Renzo in the same against Scotty and Mario in the
Possibly,
complex or
yeah.
something?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think so. There
does
was
sound familiar, all right.
uh,
It could have been the tournament. Were they drawn against each other in
yeah,
the tournament?
actually, yeah, it was actually. I think it was because we didn't. Yeah, I think it was actually.
And Renzo walk off on him then, didn't he? But
So,
yeah, listen, that was a good match, and I think it deserves to be on a VOD, because the two lads did do really well. Obviously, it wasn't put on because of the finish or what happened, but which makes sense. We then had the tag team championships, the draw versus the social elite. This was a bit of a comedy spot. So Flex, we saw in a promo, had replaced Barry. Then Barry came out as the coach. He had the towel around the neck and all, but he kept telling Flex what to do. So like he was like, do this move and hit him with this and do all this, and Barry was on the outside doing the moves with him and all, kind of like a Damian Sandow with the Miz type deal. Sam was getting really pissed off with this, telling the lads to cop onto themselves, tag themselves in, whatever. Um, Barry kept coaching Flex the whole way, told him to go for a brain buster and all this, and get him up and do that fucking thing. Like, but there was a lot here, a hell of a lot. It got to the point where Foxy got bumped, Barry grabbed the belt, and Sam is holding Maxer, and he's like, hit him, and then he goes to hit him, and then Maxer ducks and he smashes Sam in the head with the tag belt. Um, then yeah, Social Elite retained, you know, so there was a bit of a handbag after the match. Um, there's a lot going on now with the draw, and I think we saw the promo with Jay. We then had Barry, or Sam walking off on Barry and Flex in Belfast, saying that he's done. He didn't say the draw is over, and he just goes, I'm done," and he left. And then the two boys are shouting after him. So there's a lot of dissension in the draw. It leads us great going into the April show, because again, it's called Supremacy. Presumably, there's going to be some sort of draw supremacy, or who has the supremacy in the draw. Liamo against Corvin, then heavy hitting, good power moves. Corvin bashing Liamo. Liamo comes back, gets a bit of a comeback. Corvin with a low blow, then while Foxy's back is turned and uh, into the win. Corvin said afterwards, he got on the mic, says he doesn't care who it is, Sammy, Trent, Damo, Renzo, I'm coming for you. These are all on the list, basically. So we have heard that from Corvin before. Don't know if it went anywhere, but yeah, we'll see what comes of that. Last match then, Renzo and Damo was meant to be a title match. Renzo said it's not a title match. I've spoken to OTT management, got this. It's not a title match, but if you beat me, you can have a future title match. Load it back and forward, hit him with the flowers, kick out, whatever. Damo ends up getting the win. And just before it finishes, challenges Renzo, says he knows when he wants his title match. I actually thought he was going to challenge him there and then, but then the picture came up on the screen of WrestleRama, and it's like WrestleRama September 7th, I think it is. WrestleRama, me against you for the NWA title. So, so
is he going to get out of it? Are you going to try and weasel out of it? Wasn't his foot under the rope at the end?
Yeah, he did have his foot under the rope, and he was saying that as well to Foxy, that his foot was under the rope and he shouldn't have counted and whatever. But I think the match is booked in. It's a fair way away at the moment, like being September. Will Renzo still be champion then? Like we don't know. But
it kind of gives away maybe what Damo's plans might be between. He mightn't be available between now and September.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Will Joe remember that Damo was as a Joe shit match for WrestleRama as well? You know, Joe has forgotten about #1 contenders in the past. So hopefully he remembers that in anyway. But it looks like that one's booked in anyway for Rama. So that was the Belfast show.
So you were over for the Mad Kurt show and the Brad Shed, and Brad Shed. You said you were at the Refro show as well. Like, how was the Mad Kurt show?
It was normally like this is TNG or Modern Nomad, they're called. They're run by Kid Like Us, and it used to be run by Chris Brooks and all that. And it's a company that's never to be taken seriously whatsoever. It's just comedy, and it's it's the best night ever. So on a normal night, it's just like I went to one a few weeks ago, and it was just dedicated to the 90s Raw's War. Like you had Billy McKenzie as Jeff Hardy is like just, and LJ clearly. Nico Angelo, they were Edge and Christian, like it's just pure mental, like pure hilarious. But this show is dedicated to Mad Kurt because sadly passed away a few months ago, and he was just. I met him a few times, and his mind was just the funniest fucking cunt in the world, like, and like the stuff that he got up onto online, like whining. Everyone, like I'll go through it now in a few minutes, but the stuff he does online, like they used to do online, it's just he deserved every award in the world. Like the first match was actually at the start of the show there was a dedication video for him, and I just remember I don't know if you ever watched Napoleon Dynamite. Did you watch Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
There's the bit where Napoleon is doing the dance routine to Jamiroquai.
Yeah.
And Chris Brooks tweeted Mad Kurt like as a joke to do that word for, do that the whole dance.
They released this on Twitter.
Mad Kurt done it.
They released this on Twitter a few weeks ago. I've seen this. Yeah.
And it's pure like they played that at the start, and it's just amazing. Like
excellent.
So and then the start, like the first match was a battle royale, like with everyone on the card, and it's just shows how ridiculous that the card was because Leon Slater was in it, Flash Morgan Webster was in it, like the whole like Kid Like Us, like, and it was for the Gold and Keyboard Warrior Championship, which is so that was like the ring itself. I don't know if you've ever seen it on YouTube, but the ring is not even like 2 foot off the ground. Like I can step in the ring myself. Like it's ridiculous. But there's a battle royale with about 20 people in that, and it was just pure comedy. And Luke Jacobs won that, which is like it was really fun. Like Luke Jacobs is definitely someone that I don't know why he has been over in OTT much because he's one of the best. Like, he hasn't had a bad match any time I've ever seen him. And then the next match was just Eddie Kingston's music starts playing, and the place erupts because everyone thinks Eddie Kingston's gonna come out. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? But then it's Brendan White dressed up as Eddie Kingston, and he's with the New York accent and everything, and he's giving the socks, and it's fucking brilliant. And then you don't know the whole night is like it's a card of surprises. You don't know who's gonna face who. And then the next, like his opponent comes out and it's Mad Kurt. It's a blow up doll, Mad Kurt, being controlled by obviously a guy in the morph suit. And so they have a match, and it's just a comedy match, and it's just anything go. Like it's just so stupid, but it's so hilarious.
Yeah.
And Mad Kurt won that, which is funny. And then let's scroll through the video. Like the rest of the card, like actually the next match was Kid Like Us 2. He was against Leo Rush, which everyone was surprised at because we all thought it was against Soku, but they had a great match. It wasn't as good as Scotty's match, but I think it was more comedy. It wasn't as serious, but that was a good match. And Leo won that. They had a moment with that big jacket. That big jacket
The
that
big
he had.
jacket Leo had, the big white one.
Yeah. There was a big comedy moment with that, and then there was the intermission because the big fucking raffle that this guy won five times on his own. He won the whole thing. Cheeky bastard. Then the next match was
Big Fat Heads raffle, isn't it? Number
Yeah.
11.
next match was it was Dan Maloney against Kid Like Us, number one. He has no match, so that was the Progress Championship world title holder against the New Japan tag title holder. So we all knew going into this that you're not going to see a winner in this because you can only put one over the other.
Yeah.
So what happened was there was a ref bump, so Dan and Like Us both got their own titles and tried to do like the Eddie Guerrero spot. They were fighting over it, like I'm doing it, and then they just ended up that they were both on the ground, and then Greenwood got up and seen the two of them on holding the thing, and it's just like a no DQ. So it was just it was an easy way to get out of having either one of them lose. But like it's either like they could have won because it's only a joke. Like it's not gonna affect the ratings or whatever you want to call it. And then
so I've seen people talking about this one. Minoru Suzuki against Andy Quildan. And for people who don't know who Andy Quildan is, Andy is the showrunner of RevPro, and he's also the lead commentator. So if you don't know, Mark did an interview with him for the channel last year. So when I saw Andy Quildan against Suzuki, I was like, what the fuck is after happening at this show? Like, this is mental. But then I saw what it actually was. So you can fill us in on how that went down, Rob.
At the start, like during the day, all the wrestlers and companies were tweeting down everyone support this show, and then Andy Quildan himself tweeted going, I like support this show, but just remember that it goes against everything I hate about wrestling. Like then after the Driller Lycos match, the Red Pro music, the entrance music, like the Red Pro like on demand music starts playing, and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? And then Andy Q comes out, but it's Michael Oku with like inflatable ass and like fucking glasses and eyebrows, and the crowd is like, he's on the mic going, this is fucking bullshit, all this I stand against this, I don't want any part of this. And then he's like, he doesn't challenge anyone, but then Casanino Ray starts, and everyone's like losing their shit because they think Suzuki's gonna come out, and then Gene Money comes out dressed as Suzuki. It's just he has a bald wig on him with like scribbled hair and the towel on him, and the two of them they actually like, it's a fun match. It's just and then there was a bit by the way, Oku has Andy Q's voice down to a T. Like it sounds exactly like him. And then there's a bit where
let's remember that Oku was the British heavyweight champion as well, which is the main RevPro championship. So and Andy's essentially his boss. In RevPro. So I wonder how that'll go down.
There was a funny bit like he was about to do the sharpshooter on Suzuki, and he's like in Andy Hughes' voice, like, "I'm about to do my favorite wrestler's favorite move, the sharpshooter," and it didn't work. And then a few minutes later, he goes, "I'm about to do my other favorite wrestler's move, like the Boston Crab," and he's like, "He's the best wrestler in the world, but he just can't get signed by anyone." And it's obviously he's taking the piss about himself.
Yeah.
And then that happens, and then Suzuki wins, obviously, because you can't have Suzuki lose. But that was just genius. Like, the crowd were pissing themselves laughing. And then on to the main event, which is
I have it here. Connor Mills, Harry Milligan, Luke Jacobs, and Rio against Danny Luna, Ilja, MLD, and Nico Angelo.
But the last four that you mentioned there, they were all taking the role of people that Mark Kurt has either been blocked by or annoyed by.
Very good.
So Nico Angelo was playing the part of Pete Dunne.
Right.
Danny Luna was playing the part of EC3.
That EC3 one is probably one of my favorites.
Ilja was playing the part of Austin Aries. And last but not least, Man Like the Reese was playing the part of Jonathan Gresham. So when he came out to the entrance, he was on his knees. So he's as tall as me. So he worked the whole match on his knees.
Jesus Christ.
I saw a clip of that today on Twitter, and it was
so
he was talking about how bad his knees were after it.
Yeah. he was on his knees, and he was walking by me, and he just seen me, and he goes, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "It's okay." And then he worked the whole match on his knees. He ran the ropes. It was so funny. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
He only got up. He got up on his legs towards the end, but like, you could forgive him for that, because like, he must be wrecked. But this was like a War Games match, a 4-on-4 elimination. It was, but there was an added stipulation on how you can eliminate someone. The elimination was pins, knockout, submission, or by vaccination. Austin Aries.
Yeah.
It was like a big fucking needle that you could vaccinate someone. So yeah.
Did they vaccinate Austin Aries? Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. It went down to Kurt Chapman's brother. I can't remember his name. It went down to him and Austin in the final two.
Yeah.
And he done the Sega Mega Driver with his finisher, and gave him the vaccination at the same time.
Deadly.
And then it was over, and then there was a big speech dedicated to Mark Kurt at the end. And then as soon as that was over, they just played Mark Kurt's theme song on repeat for about 20 minutes.
Unreal. What was emotional?
It was a good. It was at the end, because when the brother was giving a speech, like, it was sad, and then like Oku was giving a speech as well, so it was very emotional. Like, but I think like it was a great way to remember him and all that. But he himself would say that we shouldn't be making a fuss of him, but like, that was never gonna happen. Like,
yeah.
But it was very emotional. There was a few people in the crowd crying, and then obviously his mates that are in the ring, like, they know him better than we ever will.
Yeah.
So it's sad, like, for them, like to see Lycos was bawling, crying, like, just see how close they were to him. So, like I said, I've been out on a night out with him years ago. We went to TNT, and he came out with us, and the stuff he would come out with was just random, but like, there was no need to be that funny, but he was.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. It's just naturally funny, like. But it was a shock when it happens, but it's a good way to remember him.
Yeah.
And if he's ever do get a chance to go over to Modern Nomad, it's kind of like it's Fight Factory's comedy part, but just a lot more
all the time.
Yeah. No, I've seen it a few times. I've seen it pop up. Obviously Session Matos be over there for a bit.
Yeah,
And yeah, I've seen a few times that it's popped up on my feed, and I've had a look at it, and yeah, it does. It looks like a good
they
time.
do
Like,
team nights, like, so it's always
yeah,
good. It's like theater basically.
yeah, yeah. It
Nice.
looks very Royal Cabaret.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Looks like a good time though.
Like
Definitely a
not
good
every
time.
wrestling has to be serious, you know.
That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
There's room for
Because
everything.
like with that many companies in the UK, you don't want
Mm.
all fucking everything fucking being serious. You want a bit of
Yeah.
variety. And
need to stand out as well.
shows like Modern and Riot are a good introduction for people to come into, and then they'll eventually get into the actual wrestling side of
Yeah,
it,
Yeah.
and then move on to like the progress and the Red Pros and the other stuff. So that's what like a lot of people said with OTT. They only started going because they were there for a night out to get drunk, and then a lot of them stayed for the rest of them now. So
Get the hook. Yeah.
yeah. Let's hope there's drink at the next show, and
that's what that depends wherever it
KFRC is
is.
always good. KFRC is always good. Good for a drink.
yeah.
I won't be there.
Yeah.
I won't be there for that. I'm going to Attack in Cardiff.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to try Attack, so they're doing their double header weekend for the WrestleMania weekend. So I finally get to go over to Cardiff, and because I want to try as many different companies this year,
Yeah.
and just so yeah, Attack and North in Newcastle are the next two ones there.
You're not going over to Philly for WrestleMania. You were going, were you?
No, we had it booked, but I think we booked it too late and just trying to save up for it was just. Well, I kind of regret it now, looking at the tag match, like the tag match in the first night and all that. But it is what it is, you know. I'm gonna hope to go next year, but it's weird that they haven't announced where it is. Like as Carlos said a few weeks ago, like they had Philly announced 2022 was 23, 21, like so.
I think they announced 3 in a row.
3 in a row, yeah. They had after Tampa,
finishing with Philly.
Yeah.
And then they haven't. So that was 3 or 4 years ago. And
it was a pandemic. They were supposed to be on. Pandemic show was supposed to be Tampa, and then they changed it a year ahead.
Yeah, and then they announced the next two after.
LA and
It's a weird one, but it might be something that the new owners are.
I think they're probably maybe Endeavor trying to force them into Vegas, and they wanted somewhere else. Maybe I think Minneapolis.
Vegas isn't a bad spot.
I'd definitely go over Vegas.
Like you can double up. Like we were talking about recently. Like if it's in Vegas, you can use it for wrestling, and it's also a good holiday destination. So you don't necessarily just have to go for Mania. You could go for the week or whatever, 10 days, and do half and half a wrestling holiday, half a normal holiday.
Yeah, but like if they are doing Vegas, like with the Endeavor deal and UFC involved, like you can imagine them putting on some sort of double UFC show and then putting the wrestling show on.
Well, I think they have the new stadium there, which is the only place that I think could host it, because the arenas, although the arenas are massive and there's a couple of big new arenas, they don't have the size. They're still only like 20,000 seaters. I'm saying only 20,000 seaters, but like they don't have the capacity of 80,000 that the stadium would have. You know,
no, if they do it, they'll definitely do the Alliance Stadium. Like they'll definitely,
and
they'll do Raw and SmackDown and T-Mobile. That's where I was for the Dublin and nothing. So they won't.
I think the reason why they may not have announced it is because I think the idea was to have the Super Bowl there first. And that might be a big factor in them not have announced it until the Super Bowl was finished.
Which it is now, so
so I reckon because it used to always be, I remember it used to always be Mania weekend where they'd announce the following Mania, but they kind of booked that trend with the recent ones. So I think maybe we're just getting a bit ahead of ourselves, expecting it to be announced before that, but like I'm presuming they have it in the diary, and we'll probably find out Mania weekend.
From what I remember, and it was a rumor like at the time before the pandemic that they had Philly was supposed to be last year, and there were talks of WrestleMania
they moved
this year, and they would be the first. There was going to be a trial run or something. They normally use WWE as a trial run for Super Bowl shows, or vice versa. Like whatever show goes into a new stadium first, it's just a tester to see is it going to be able to hold that many people and how the transport works around it? So I think maybe WWE are supposed to be in that before the Super Bowl, but it worked out differently. So
Possibly, quite possibly. Yeah. Is it actually, is the stadium, like, I know is it like, it's a big stadium, and they usually put those stadiums a bit outside. I
yeah,
don't actually know
it's
how
close.
far out it is. Like,
I think it's close enough. It's pretty close from the aerial shots I saw at the Super
Right.
Bowl. It's pretty close to the strip. Like, it's not banging, like it's maybe a
yeah,
mile or
like
two
they
outside.
couldn't. It's too big.
Yeah.
Like, and most of those football stadiums are, like, the majority of them are a car park. Like, so,
Yeah, they'd need they need dead transport, the
yeah.
infrastructure leading into them as well to get that many people out.
Yeah, it might be one that we can keep an eye on and take the
Yeah.
trip over. But you were going over for this one, Jerry, getting loads of
Yeah,
content for us.
I hope so.
And yeah, potentially might take the trip over myself
Yeah.
next year, and
See what
ball
happens.
be in my court to do the grunt work.
Yeah, gotta be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the show.
Loads that we talked about. We might even
Yeah.
need to split that.
We may have to. It's a long one.
Yeah, no, I appreciate Rob coming on as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely, Rob,
Obviously
thanks.
trying to get him on for ages. Loads of very, very valuable information there.
Mhm.
And especially, like, I love hearing your stories about being involved in the wrestling stuff. I know you have a shitload more, like all the promos and stuff that you've done, and yeah, I'm sure we'll have you back on again, and we'll get some more stories off you and some more context off you as well for some wrestling shows. Like, we do have some big shows coming up. What we got next? Hard Knocks this Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's much more. There's nothing more announced compared to what we did the other night.
Nothing.
So we won't delve into that. There's still some tickets available, so get tickets for that. The NLW show then Easter weekend, Easter Saturday. RCW was Good Friday.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of wrestling coming up, and then OTT in April. And then we have as well, on our last show we had K.E. Harvey on telling us about the new Fight Factory show. So, like, we're getting back into a purple patch for wrestling. So lot to talk about over the coming months, and hopefully Rob will be
Get
able
out
to
there
join us
and
again and
get out there and support Irish wrestling.
yeah,
Exactly.
Support independent wrestling wherever you're going. Just go out and go and see it.
yeah. Just don't cry about it afterwards and say that the show was shit and how terrible it was, when it was actually a really, really good show. I'm not getting heated again, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what we have coming up. So
we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
As always, lads, like, comment, subscribe, let us know. Have you seen Rob around the show? Have your favorite spots that Rob may
ask him
have
for a
done?
picture.
Ask
Ask
him
Rob
for a
for a
picture,
picture.
yeah.
Don't.
Meet and
Ask
greet.
Rob for pictures.
€5, yeah.
Absolutely, make a fortune off it.
I don't take card though. That's the only thing. So I take Revolut though.
Send it to my Revolut. I'll look after the money, Rob. Don't worry.
Send it to Joe.
It happened at the Red Cow. Some owl lad was like, "Are you Hornswoggle?" I was like, "No, fuck off." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, just go away." And he told his mate, and he just started laughing. I was like, "Yeah, shut up, go away."
Punched him in the balls too.
It was a big queue. I couldn't. I was trying to get away.
Okay, lads. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good luck, Jerry.